Oh, my word, I've forgotten how much fun that song was. You rambling boys of pleasure, you ladies of easy leisure, the Pogues from the wonderful If I Should Fall From Grace With God. It is my pleasure, my privilege, nay, my deep honor to bring on the show today one of those rambling boys of pleasure who's introduced gazpacho to the UK. Cho has really taken off over in the old country, and joining me live on the line is the man behind Cho and calls himself Cho Man Extraordinaire, Adam Baker. Adam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Giles, and good afternoon, all of you lucky people in Spain.
Absolutely. Now, funnily enough, that song's Fiesta, based in Almeria, where the song was written, which is, of course, where you first came across the idea, nay, the recipe. Explain a bit more, sir.
It is. That's our theme tune that you just played, and
the Cho anthem.
Cho is something that Cho is gazpacho that we make in Andalusia, in a little mountain village up in the Alpujarra Mountains, the old-fashioned way, in a little gazpacho factory. And we did this because we spent a lot of time in a place called Cabo de Gata, which is a little corner of Almeria, just beyond Almeria, before you get to Mojaca. There's a little place there, and that's where my wife and I would run away to hide from the rest of the world whenever we needed to do that. And a while ago, we met a very fantastic Spanish chef, a guy called Alejandro Sanchez. We became friends with him, and it's a kind of long story, but basically we were looking for something else to do. Alex makes a fantastic fruit gazpacho. His restaurant always starts the meal with a brilliant, either a gazpacho of watermelon or strawberry or stuff, and we worked together to look at how we could take that idea and turn it into an alternative to a smoothie.
Right. I mean, smoothies are big business in the UK. I mean, what gave you the idea to actually, or thinking that the UK wouldn't want this, on their dinner tables, landing, on their breakfast bars?
Good one, really. I have two reasons, really. One is because we do a lot of smoothies in the UK. So you guys will probably know about Innocent over there, which are like a really big smoothie brand that grew up here in West London, where we're also based. And it was for two reasons we did Cho. One, because not everything in life is sweet. It's the whole thing was to do something savoury, and the great thing about gazpacho is it's savoury. But the kind of like real reason behind it was we wanted to do something that was an alternative, but also provided an alternative to things that are very full of sugar. So fruit juices and smoothies, just by nature of the way they're made, are very high in sugar. So you typically get anything up to 2 ounces of sugar in a single smoothie.
Right, wow. And that's not healthy at all. I mean, there's quite a lot of talk about, some of the health foods and such, some of the natural organic foods not being that healthy or organic at all.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's not really the fault of anything. There's no sort of, clandestine plot going on. It's just that if you take 2 bananas and 4 kiwis and you squish them all up and put them into a bottle, you end up with 30, 40 grams of sugar that occurs naturally, which is fine, but it's something that you grab on the go, after the gym or something like that, and people didn't really realize as to how much, if you have, one every day, that's a tremendous amount that you're adding to your sugar intake, and then you're going to end up possibly with problems, like type 2 diabetes or other similar health problems.
So what was the public's reaction when you said, right, here we go, I've just come over from Almeria, I've got this gazpacho in a bottle, have a try?
They thought we were mad.
Fair enough.
We are a little bit mad. Cho is different. Cho is drinking gazpacho. So we made drinking gazpacho, which is basically much smoother. So it's not like a gazpacho that you would have with a spoon, although in Almeria most people don't, most people drink gazpacho in a glass. I'm sure that really in Andalusia most people drink gazpacho in a glass. It's us Brits that go over there, and sit down and want it with a spoon. But it doesn't necessarily go like that. So we make them longer, smoother gazpacho. So the basic premise is that it's tomatoes and olive oil and fruit and water. All those things are good for you. If you put them together in the right mix, you can combine different fruits and different stuff, ripe tomatoes, full of lycopenes, fantastic for men, and just an alternative, naturally healthy product that is naturally low in sugar.
And you've done a sort of guerrilla, because you're marketing it quite differently. I've seen Che Guevara T-shirts and stuff like that.
I'm sending you one, by the way. I'm sending you a Chogazpacho t-shirt, which is fantastic. Yeah, we thought, I mean, it's entirely different, and one of the things that I've learned is, because I kind of knew that this was a little bit of something that we did that was, it'd be very nice to have your own brand, it'd be really nice to make a product, and we didn't really look too far into what the industry is actually like. And there are no comparable products. There's been V8 around for a long time. My dad loved V8. He used to major in it. I remember as a kid we had V8 all over the house.
What was that? That was like rhubarb. Was it rhubarb or beetroot or something else? Something undescribable?
V8's like 8. I think the clue's in the name. It's 8 different vegetables and stuff, and it's kind of like a vegetable cocktail, but it's not a gazpacho because it's made using concentrates and stuff like that.
I vaguely remember putting vodka in it at some dim bit of my past, but there you go.
Nothing wrong with a bit of vodka. Nothing wrong with a bit of vodka or tequila and cho either. But
blimey,
we do a little bit of that.
Right. Okay. So how did the British food market? You're saying about the industry take, what was their take? Because obviously nothing like you think you've been quoted as saying is you think you may be the only savoury drink in the Western world. We are indeed. There is no sector, as they call it in these days. So basically, there's no comparable product to show. In England, we don't do gazpacho. So if you go into a Carrefour, you go into any Spanish supermarket, as you all know, you'll find a fridge that's loaded full of different types of gazpacho, from own brand to the big names like Avale and stuff, and lots of different Spanish brands. It's a really familiar thing in Spain to buy a gazpacho in different sizes. In the UK, that just doesn't happen. There isn't anything at all. One of our UK supermarkets stocks Avale as a gazpacho, but that's kind of it, really. There isn't anything else. So there's that to start off with, and then there's the fact that we're in small bottles. So we're in 250 ml on-the-go bottles that you'll grab on the go when you need to get something down your throat that's good for you. And the other things that are on the shelf are basically smoothies or juices. That's it. So there's no comparable product. So they thought we were mad when we came in with something that was savoury. The truth is that people, the public love it. The public, when they go, yeah, great, something savoury, it lasts, it's fantastic, because there's a lot of people that don't go for all that sweet stuff. And also, we're being terrified by the media here, on an almost daily basis about, the amount of sugar that our kids have and stuff. So mums are really worried and very conscious about those sort of things. But at the end of the day, if you don't have Ribena or other products are available, then there's very little else that's available for mums to choose from. So right.
It's quite nice to have that choice that's different and safe.
And you've said I've seen the reports that you're saying you'd like to see cho in every school in the country.
We want to put the cho into schools because there's a CHO in there to begin with, and that's kind of our plan really to get in there, because it's a bit like we're all a bit fanatical in the UK at the moment about what we eat and stuff, and we feel that we could contribute to that in the future. We want to open up the idea to that not everything that you drink, refreshment-wise, is sweet, and that's really from where we're coming from. Gazpacho was such a great medium to start with because there are so many different recipe opportunities. Alex, our partner and fantastic chef, he came up with so many different varieties. We did like parsley gazpachos and stuff. We were going completely crazy. But we make a tomato and strawberry, which is fantastic. I've just had one myself before I came on the radio to get me primed.
Okay.
And they're absolutely fantastic. It's it's really interesting flavors. We do beetroot and apple as well.
Oh, that sounds good.
Which it's just a way of getting 6 different vegetables down you, a good tablespoonful and a half of olive oil. We have a really good extra virgin olive oil we buy straight from the cooperativa. And it's about making something that uses whole fruit as well. That's the other thing, is most of the stuff that you'll find, juices and smoothies, are pre-industrialized commodities. So they you buy pulp, so kiwi pulp, banana pulp, and that's how you make them. We go and buy whole fruit and vegetable from the grower, directly by ripe tomatoes and ripe peppers and onions and all of that, and we blend them up in a great big blender that Alex calls the bigger smasher.
The bigger smasher.
Yeah, the biggest smasher. We was using the smallest smasher before, and now we're using the biggest smasher. So we smash it all up and then filter out all the bits. They go outside to feed the goats. The goats get fed on the waste stuff that you guys don't want to eat, and then we bottle it in Murcia. We send it down 2 hours down the coast down to Murcia, where it gets bottled, and then it all comes to the UK for the moment because, as I said, it's the launch of the product was to provide an alternative to what's here. But we will, because of the success, we will launch it in Spain next spring.
Oh, we're looking forward to that, though. I was going to say, because how much time do you actually spend then back in Almeria and back in Cabo de Gata at all?
As much as I possibly can. This is a bit of a backfired plan, actually. The idea was, we were having a really good time. I ran an events company for 20 years, so we were working with events all over Europe and stuff. So my wife Karen and I would run off to Cabo de Gata for a long break and loved it there because it's just fantastic. And but now we spend less and less time there because I'm getting dragged into building Cho here. So I shot myself in both feet.
Marvellous. Not a bad way to... Is it true, by the way, that, your first foodie inspiration was John Belushi?
Yeah, absolutely. Because John Belushi taught us not only to eat and love food, but to throw it around liberally at other people.
From Animal House, you mean?
Absolutely. There's no harm in throwing food. Although nobody, don't go to the Tomatina, the tomato throwing festival. We thought that would be a good idea about researching Cho. So this is in a little town by Valencia called Buñol, I think it is, where you go and millions of people turn up to this tiny, tiny little town and you throw tomatoes at each other. Never do that. It's the most dangerous thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Why is that then, Adam? Why is it so... I mean, they're only tomatoes, aren't they?
They hurt. They really, really hurt. Being pelted by fast-flying tomatoes is not an enjoyable thing. I can tell you this from experience.
I've had several things thrown at me in my past, but never a fast-moving tomato. So I should watch out. I should watch out for that one. So we're looking forward to a launch of Cho in the future. If people want to find out a little bit more about Cho, where can they go? Is there a Facebook page or a website?
Yeah. You need to look up Chogazpacho. So there's
CHO, isn't it?
Yeah, it's www.chogazpacho.com, or the Facebook page is Chogazpacho. I'm really up for meeting new people on Facebook and hearing what they say, because this is a completely different thing. Nobody's ever done anything like this before, so the feedback we get is massively important to us from people. So if anybody wants to go and give us a like on our Facebook page, I'd be a very happy boy. And really just hear what you think, because it's, that's how we kind of started this thing up, was on Facebook. It's an incredible aid, really, when you've got a small brand and you don't know what people think about you and you don't know what your product is and you're all a bit worried. You get immediate feedback from Facebook. It's fabulous. I'm a big fan.
Do you tweet as well? Are you a Twittering person, or are you
just... You know what? I'm too old, Giles.
You're too old to tweet?
I'm too old to tweet, mate.
You're never too old to tweet, as Stephen Fry once probably said.
Yeah, no, he's older than me. Definitely looks it anyway.
It's the Cho. It's keeping you fresh and young, Adam.
Well, he's our partner, my partner Dave, who's fantastic. Dave does all the tweeting, and we've got a lot of Twitter followers, but I don't follow it. So he goes, "Did you see my tweet?" And I'm like, "No, I don't read them. I'm terrible at that." But I do Facebook. He does Twitter, and I do the Instagramming as well, because there's lots of pictures. They like to see where Cho's made and how we make it, so I had to go and learn how to be a fully fledged gazpacho maker, which I am now. Is there a sort of secret ceremony? Do you hand over the tomato and the olive oil? Is there sort of like, do you roll up one trouser leg and that sort of thing? Yeah, that's it. You have to put on white wellies and a hat. You have to look ridiculous. That's actually one of the main things. The fashion faux pas for me was almost killed it dead. Right. I'm not doing this factory food business. I look like an idiot. Just before you go, I can't help but mention, obviously, people may know your father, who was quite a well-known actor called Sir Stanley Baker, and it was the 50th anniversary of Zulu a bit earlier in the year. It was, which is completely amazing. That was a stunning thing. I mean, I'm a real veteran of Marbella and San Pedro, and it was we remember that my dad took us to. He brought us out as a family out to Marbella in the 60s. And, that's where we started off with a house in Guadalmina, and we were there for a long, long time. So he really loved it out there, and sadly died in 1976 in Marbella. So it's always been a big part, and lots of people forgot about his film career, obviously, and stuff, because as time goes by, people forget. But Zulu was always a very, very popular film because it's on TV at Christmas and Easter almost every single year. But this year, the British Film Institute did a reprint. They cleaned up the print in its original format, widescreen format, and they premiered it again at the Odeon Leicester Square just back in July this year. So I was very lucky to be able to take my mum, Lady Baker, to the premiere and see the film for the first time on the big screen, because I'd never seen it, although I've seen it a million times. I'd never seen it in the cinema, and it was stunning. It was with Prince Harry, Prince Buthelezi of the Chief of the Zulus, and lots of other sort of celebrities, fantastic people that we met, and just had an amazing evening.
Sounds absolutely wonderful. Must have been great to see it on the big screen as well. Adam, it's been great talking to you. Just give me the Facebook and the website for people to find a bit more about Cho in the future.
Absolutely. Come and have a look at www.chogazpacho.com, or have a look at Facebook /Chogazpacho. Come and say hi, and I'll say hola to you as well.
Adam Baker, Cho, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you again, mate. Speak to you when you launch it in Spain next year, my friend.
I'm sending some to you, and I'm getting a picture of you in a Che Guevara t-shirt.
No problem at all. You know me, Adam. Any costume, I'll be wearing it. Speak to you soon, my friend.
Thanks a lot. Have a lovely weekend.
Thanks.
Bye.